attitude don't care to you, Marcus. Go to them. I don't want you to know them upcoming new artists. Go to watch out. What do watch out? Them stink like my money. By the way, I don't want you no nice. I only want you to river.
Of Midwest R6 Siege. I'm so dark and zigging and zagging. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Ace of Toronto. You have seen me before, if you can actually see me. I know it's super dark in here. And of course, to my this way, you have seen my esteemed co-caster before. Last time we were on this broadcast together, yapping it up, it just so happens to have been last season's set of grand finals. Lots have changed within and outside of Midwest, of course, and we're here now to take a look this week at Illinois State University Red Squad versus Lindenwood, who are apparently on a massive win streak right now. Fisher, you got any insight?
Probably just about as much as you, but of course remember Lindenwood from the couple times I've seen them in the past. A very, very strong team, pretty perennially strong too. They've been around for a while, and it certainly looks like they are going to stay that way. As you saw, of course, at the bottom of the screen, they're on a win streak, trying to continue that today, but two very, very good teams. So it should be a really solid matchup here in just week 3. It feels longer, though. The competition here already intense.
Yeah, it definitely feels like I mean, the beautiful people here at Midwest have been going at it for a while. And I'm just happy to be back. Happy to be back with you, Fisher. As I was saying, it's been a minute since I had any yapping going. So making sure I got my water, I am ready. And we are going to take a look now, actually, at Illinois State Red squad. We're going to take a look at their roster. Of course, we have to see who we are casting tonight, and it will be the usual suspects of Cam, Pencil, Durr, Bossman, and Buck. This team is currently 0-2, but who's to say they can't turn it around?
Yeah, definitely looking for the turnaround here, but it's going to be hard against Lindenwood. We already mentioned it a couple times. On a win streak, looking to continue, and unfortunately, we don't have stats this early into the season, so there's not going to be a whole ton comparison-wise for us to go off of. We do have a quote from the ISU Red roster, which kind of always helps you give a little bit of insight into how they're thinking. JD Haffen over Zathor, so maybe not much relevance in this game, but good to know they're thinking of it.
Hey, I did tell you guys that a lot had been going on. Not only do we lose Chippy, but we lose JD in a different sort of way. Zay takes over for him, and Cam isn't happy about it. Cam from ISU Red is letting us know that JD and Chippy and all the people who have departed as of now are still taking a backseat role will very much so be missed. But let's take a look at Lindenwood now. Let's take a look at the roster they are rolling out with. They're currently 2-0 on that hot win streak that we were talking about. They've got Wraithling, Wolf, Radar, Chubsy, and Meech in their lineup tonight. Is there anything that you're noticing here, Fisher?
I mean, if we're just going off the name alone, has to be Meech. Was a pretty big ticket item last season. Certainly remember covering their games a couple of times. Very strong player on the H2, so a big gunner here for Lindenwood. And yeah, I think it's just going to be a tale of the numbers at the top, right? It's 2-0 against 0-2. It's about all we have to go on. But, you know, upsets happen all the time. Every sport, every esport. We'll see if it can be done here. Of course, I think Lindenwood has a quote as well, so we're going to throw over to that one. It's going to be Ryan. Dad, I can't save you now from Zathor on LU. So a little bit of revenge for the last one.
From Zay himself, too, as well. Dada cannot save you now, says Zay to Ryan. This is going to be an exciting matchup, if you're asking me. It might look like 0-2 versus 2-0. You know, this is you might think, okay, this is going to be a 2-0 quick sweep. I don't know if we're going to go into it or didn't have a chance to talk about it, but our first map will be Lair. So Lair is default going to be what starts us out. And I believe the second map was, as we hop over into our map bands now, that's exactly what I was thinking there, dear producer in my ear. It looks as though it will be Lair, Clubhouse, and Border if we end up being pushed that way. Now, if we go to Border, what are you expecting?
I think you're always expecting the same thing every time you get to Border, right? It's going to be a gun fest. It is going to be all weapon skill all the way. And of course, if you get all the way to the overtime, you kind of like seeing that. With all that being said, we are into the game here. ISU Red and Lindenwood said it just a second ago, but it is going to be Lair for the first map. You know, Lair kind of an interesting map. Some people like it. Some people really dislike it. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the map, though.
Yeah, I mean, in all honesty, it's been quite resurgent, if you're asking me. It went from being one of the more hated maps to being universally used and even picked by certain pro teams. And of course, we're nowhere, well, I wouldn't say nowhere near. We're not at the pro level. Obviously, right now we're watching ISU Red and Lindenwood. This is not DZ versus G2. But I will say, you know, when you get more of an opportunity to be able to watch and grow your playbook and learn from players who are miles and miles better than you. I mean, the same thing could go for us listening to a typical NA or EU cast and taking notes from them. A map that becomes this resurgent, especially with how much it was played last stage, even especially in EML, I swear I was seeing Lair basically every week from all of the teams, bottom to the top. So you have a lot of footage with Lair becoming more and more resurgent within the meta. And now it's becoming, I mean, it used to barely even be picked for a decider. Now it's turning into a first pick type of map for a lot of teams. And here we are now seeing that Lindenwood starting on the defense. They feel, I can only imagine that they actually feel somewhat confident going into this.
Yeah, certainly like to see that for all the Lindenwood fans watching along. And for me, there's always kind of a map of two tails, right? There's the top floor and the bottom floor, which are extremely defender-sided,
Yep.
and the middle floor, which is an absolute nightmare for the defenders.
It is.
It's really a bit of a toss-up every time it occurs. So we can see this map be pretty even if ISU is able to pull away one top floor. Should be enough now here from Lindenwood, so ISU Red actually going to be able to open that main wall very easily. But of course, a Clash of Wolf there piloting that one in this round going to make it much, much harder to push this angle.
Yeah, we didn't get too much of a chance to talk about it, but Bandit and Kaid have been basically guaranteed to be the first two bans. Oh, with the insane opening pick to Meech through the wall from Cam. And it, you know, seeing Bandit and Kaid be banned out the way that they have been, it makes Clash even more of a resurgent type of pick within the meta nowadays as well as I will say Tachanka. Chubsy getting a lot of value here, stopping the Boss Man from going up. You see Pencil now takes Wolf out from below. Thermite is also on the ground, but he gets picked up. Still in a 5v3 situation for Lindenwood here, though it's not looking too good right now. With the Deimos tracker on radar as well, he's got to be careful. Oh!
Pencil's going to come across one, gets cut down. They actually do trade as Wraithling will go down. Radar now hits a dust. Well, there goes as K is going to pick up that final one. So first round goes to ISU Red. How about that one for Unexpected? Up to a thundering start there, and Lindenwood could look to try that top floor site again, or in Cam, sorry, okay, my bad. But instead, they're going to go down to the basement. I like this option from the defense, still a very, very strong secondary site.
And I don't blame them for wanting to try a different site on this. The way that ISU Red came when it comes to the attack, they had the Monty, they had the Ace, and then they also had the subsequent pressure coming from the other side over by that window on the other side of the other site. And it was really just super pinch. You got the Clash out of the way early. Well, not necessarily early, but it was like the second pick. And that's really all you needed. That's all you needed in order to be able to push and pinch properly. ISU Red looking really good. I would say they caught Lindenwood lacking, but at the same time, I'd say that Lindenwood probably weren't ready for the exact strategy that ISU Red delivered there.
5 seconds left.
No, definitely did not be. We'll see around here in round number 2. Of course, different bomb site, different prep, and a different level of readiness here for Lindenwood. See what they're able to do. They got the Goya this time, which should help. Kind of the time stall similar to what that... Is it blank on the name? The Clash.
Tachanka. Oh, Clash.
Not for... Oh, well, I guess Tachanka too. Yeah, neither of them really slowed down a lot of the time, now that we think about it, but we'll see if old Goyo canisters can do so this time.
It's a fair point there, and it looks as though I mean, it might not pertain too much to anything, but look at this. Such a setup from Cam. I did not realize until right now. That's how much I have not been paying attention to Siege. I am sorry. Ying now has the Reaper Mark II and can also run one of the better shotguns in the game, especially for close range. This is an insanely good setup from Cam. You just need to make sure that you can stay on top of it. It looks as though he's going to be taking a little bit more of a point of entry on his own, so to speak, but he has the firepower to do that, and he has 4 Candelas, and he has 2 smokes. If he needs to go on an island by himself to separate 1 or 2 Lindenwood players from each other in order to maybe get an early pick, especially if you're close enough, you can definitely do that if you're Cam right now.
Yeah, of course, Ying and Sledge on the attack, picking up that new Reaper Mark II. 2 operators that have really iconic shotguns in Siege that just didn't get to use them all because of options. Now have that choice, and Cam now is going to be playing a very short-range angle here on this exterior doorway. Very, very tight hallway to the right, and then you are right into the bomb site. And speaking of bomb site, Lindenwood doesn't look like they have too heavy of a presence on it. There are only 2 players inside the basement. It's going to be Wolf and Radar, so those Vulcan canisters should be able to delay time. But if ISU senses this, those Candelos are going to make it insanely hard to hold on to this bomb site.
And Durr might be in for a huge play here as he that's exactly what I was thinking. He was opening up, he was making space for him. Cam going crazy, getting a double, and it's 4-1 ISU Red again. Cam trades to get a third. ISU Red coming out hot, hotter than they have been. 2-0 could possibly be on the line here.
The 2-0 is down 0-2 here. 2 rounds going to ISU. And yeah, how about that? The stats cannot tell everything. And right when you were mentioning it, right, Cam with the shotgun, with the Reaper, gets 3 kills with that setup, able to storm the site. Very, very nice from the Ying. And now it's going to force Lindenwood onto the first floor. Now, I liked it when they went to the basement from the top floor. Maybe it's a change of pace. I don't know if I love this. This site is hard to defend, especially when the offense is rolling. We saw them making good use of vertical last round, using the ram there to open up the floorboards, kind of help force radar out on that. So we'll see if Lindenwood can defend. I think the Mira could throw a wrench into ISU's plans. If a team knows how to use that operator, there is barely anything that can truly, truly counter it.
And they might need to. And it kind of alludes to what I was about to say before Cam got busy there. Taking space is the most important part of attacking on this map. It does not matter what bomb site it is. If you can take space and give an opportunity for your teammate, any of them, to be able to advance on that space while you are still being a stalwart in another location, it just means more. And that's exactly what they were waiting on. That Cam, he goes back, he goes forth, he goes back, he goes forth. You finally have everything in line. You've got walls being opened. You've got other teammates pushing in from another way. And then Cam can snap his fingers just like that and get that dang near 3-piece he had. When it comes to this site, though, this site is a lot easier to attack than you might expect. It just depends on the defending setup. As, look at that. Pencil through the floor, and then there's also a soft wall there. Meech does get Cam off the board, and it seems as though we are using a thermite charge. Is that wall soft? It looked like it was soft. No, yeah, it's definitely soft. I mean, it's as easy as 1, 2, 3 right now. But it's because there's not a lot of pressure on the site right now by the defenders.
Yeah, yet again, we see Lindenwood with a fairly soft site defense, but on this site, the vertical play is so important that you got to keep it. And will vertical play be enough? Because the diffuser is down. That's going to be Boss Man as we get into a 4v3 post-plant scenario here. Lindenwood going to have to crash down these stairs and find a way back. Shubsy taking a little bit of damage to Durr. Upstairs, another defender. There goes Shubsy, still somehow holding on to life. Is now the gridlock in tough position. Penciled radar. Meech upstairs. Meech will get the kill. Nice spray onto the waiting gridlock, but the health is low. The Monty shield is up, and it's a triple kill for Pencil, and Pencil is gonna get a 4th.
Wow, they just made it too easy for them. They made it too easy for them. You can't, you can't always take everything that you see and make it your own, right? I've seen setups like that. Shout out to Team Falcons. That is the exact way that they like to defend that site. Now, I'm not going to say that they, drove it straight from their playbook, watching them and whatnot, but I will say that was not the way you need. The way that this ISU Red team has been attacking so far, that's not at all the way that you needed to play that. Lindenwood, I know they're taking a timeout, a technical timeout right now, due to a player lagging out, but that just, you need to just come different. You need to put something different on the table for a situation like that, because I mean, okay, you saw it out the first time, right? But as hard as ISU have been, I get a chance to zone in on this now. As hard as ISU have been zoning in and making sure that they play off their picks just as well as they have been, and playing off the pressure that they can create, you just allow them to hop straight into the site. You allow them to get the plant down. You allow them to take these off angles with the Deimos through the floor. You allow them to have the Monty posted up in the corner. He was literally in the bunk bed. How did you expect to be able to play that from up top? You had a Tachanka looking, and then you had another teammate on the stairs. You had a Tachanka looking downwards, but see, the Tachanka was being pushed out by the gridlock because that's just how you have to attack that, especially in a post diffuser situation. Diffuser's down, you know that you have nothing left to do but to just go fight, because the worst you could do is lose out on your fights, and then the diffuser's already off. So that was 100% not the way to do it, in my opinion. I understand that you wanted to try it, get it up, try to get a new strat maybe worked into your book, and you are already 2-0. I don't exactly have the stats on if you have played Lair yet or not, Lindenwood, but you can't Falcons defend on first floor Lair. You just can't do it.
Yeah, and you can understand the logic, right? The vertical is so important on that side, but at the same time, if you only have one person on the actual floor of the bomb site and they just rush the bomb site, you can't do anything about it. It's kind of what we saw
And
back
they
in round
left it
two.
unreinforced.
Yeah, it's like what they did in round two. There were two on the base. ISU just pushed all 5 through the basement, and the rest died trying to come back down to site. I mean, they're holding the top floor as well. I'll give them that. Like,
Yeah.
the roamers aren't bending, they're not breaking, they're keeping their space on the top floor. ISU is just kind of ignoring it. So then you got to switch your strategy. You might have to give up vertical if you ISU's doing on attack, which obviously that sucks, right? You never want to deal about getting shot from above, but it's way, way better than the alternative, which is just getting demolished on the site right now.
Yeah. I mean, look, if you're getting shot at from above, you got to look at it in the same exact way that the ISU team was looking at it when they knew that they had to attack it. So it's like you have to have someone posted up there, and you had 2 people posted up there, or maybe even 3. But at the same time, ISU couldn't go full 5 on this specific site because they knew they had to have the Monty, the Deimos, and the Thermite down there in order to make this execute work. Where does that leave your last 2? That leaves your Gridlock and the other character that I cannot remember who it was. That leaves your Gridlock and your other character to throw Gridlocks on the stairs, use whatever utility they need, and to try to pinch and pressure whoever is upstairs. And if you have 3 or maybe even 4 upstairs, that's not going to work out for you. I mean, you either have to fully commit or just don't commit at all to, that half up, half down type of take. Like, you only had one, I believe, in sight, maybe even that, or at least around sight. So it's like you got to make sure that you're doing this a little bit more of like a together type of way. I don't think together is the right word, but you just need to work better as a team with that certain strategy. That one does need a little bit more time in the washing machine, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, and I think the recent rounds also kind of call into question what's going to happen in the second half of this game, right? I know we talked a little bit in the start. There are 2 sides that are pretty defender-sided, 2 sides that are attacker-sided, which in reality can kind of make things a map. I still think Lair is fairly defender-sided, and granted,
Yeah.
it's been a while since we've seen like super, super high gameplay of Lair, at least for me, so I could be wrong with the recent trends, however it's going. But the reach rate on attack, no matter how you slice it, that is an extremely strong attacking half. They're not done yet. They put more up on the board. It means Lindenwood attacks now. If they want to push this game to overtime, win it, they need to win 4 rounds on attack. And that number can grow if they continue to struggle in the latter half of this defense. It could get out of hand very, very quickly. They got some extended time here with the rehost. Really hoping they're able to get that mental reset, get themselves back on track, and get us into a more competitive game number 1.
Yeah, because the way that ISU is attacking right now, I mean, it's exactly what you want to see. Because to kind of bounce off what you said, I have been watching a lot of EML and a lot of NAL, of course, as it's been going on. We're in stage 2, getting ready for playoffs, or maybe playoffs has already started. Either way, like, you're seeing a good bit of Lair, and the same thing that happens when it's a little bit more defender sided. You're getting a lot more attacking. What's the word? You're getting a lot more extra attacking film from a lot of these other teams. Like, for example, take a team from NA. If you're seeing a lot more Lair in EML and you feel as though your strat book is a little lower on the attacking side of Lair, maybe you take a page out of their book. And I'm not going to sit here and say that Lindenwood or ISU have been doing that. But in order to get better at this game, you have to see what other people are doing. You have to see what you have done in the past. You have to come up with new strats, do this and do that in order to make sure that you are better at what you might think a weaker map in your map pool is. And ISU are coming out so confident right now with their attack that it genuinely makes me feel like that they are going to be ready for the rest of this as we hop right back into it.
Yeah, the teams are ready. The lobby is up. We should be getting right back in here. Just a reminder for anyone that forgot, we're going into round number 4. Lindenwood losing 3 straight, so they can still go anywhere on this defense. Luckily for them, I'd expect we see him go back up to the top floor, but only time will tell. And of course, third band's now rolling through the new and improvements. If anyone forgot, Bandit, Buck, Blackbeard, and Kaid taking off the board. 2 more going to be joining them here. Right now, it looks like it is going to be that Clash. A little bit of a surprise in the Thermite. I like the band from Lindenwood for sure. Thermite looked very comfortable for ISU. Mm-hmm. ISF, they used Clash once, and they dealt with it within a minute, maybe.
Yeah. Honestly, if it's my choice, I'm going to sit here and say that you definitely should have taken the Deimos away from Pencil. He has been doing way, way, way too much work on this Deimos specifically. He has definitely been looking like this is his operator. And I know Thermite was very comfortable and has been a very niche attacker ban, especially since CJX introduced the 3 bans. You know, you're seeing a lot of triple hard breach ban, you're seeing a lot of Blackbeard and Ace Thermite bans. And on a map like Lair, I can fully understand that. But you got to look at the bigger picture. The numbers are all at 0 right now, but Pencil was 100% leading his team, if not right behind Cam. Yeah, I don't necessarily agree with the Thermite, though. I will say I expected and was not really that surprised when I saw the Clash get taken off the board.
Yeah, we'll see which one of these bands are going to pan out for both these teams. As just seconds into round number 4, Lindenwood, they have time stalling again, right? We saw it back in round number 1 when they attempted this top floor site. I think it was just a Clash instead of a smoke.
Yep.
I think they brought along the Malusi, which it could be misspring, don't believe had one. Big issue, going to be Pencil on the Deimos, like you were talking about, was able to take down 2 from below in the first round, one of which was that Clash, who I believe got backed up into a corner using that kind of drone tracker, whatever you call it, as I forget the name of it, just temporarily. But they're trying to push out the Linden defender here. It's going to be Mish who meets this Monty head on. Impact grenades in hand, but won't look to dance with that extended shield.
Yeah, you got to be careful. Obviously, Bossman has been playing this been playing this Montaigne one too many times. And if the defenders have learned anything, there is backup behind him. You cannot overextend. You definitely can't overextend into him right now. Radar takes a few pecks of damage as Pencil is holding such a tight angle. Cam actually just got a view onto Meech and shouted it out to Pencil. Radar backed into a corner, does end up taking the Grim off the board, though. That's a pretty important get, especially if they wanted to get this wall open. Being tracked through the floor now is Radar. You have got to be careful playing with Pencil like that. He actually might be able to get him here, but Radar, has to jump up at the last second. He's so hurt. But he does now have the Deimos tracker on cooldown, and Wraithling makes sure that that cooldown is permanent. Lindenwood up 4-0 right now with a minute left.
And that's a great way to count Lindenwood. So focused on the player right above there because Radar was so low on HP. You can kind of just sneak the smoke down the stairs there. Wraithling, I believe, still has all 3 smoke canisters. Can't quite see it on the screen right now. It's Tachanka using flames to block off Monty's retreat. Bossman has to go back, and now Dur behind him is going to be the last one standing. It's right down the hallway, not behind, as Wolf takes out 1. Radar falls to Dur. You still have the smoke grenades. You still have the Tachanka firebombs, and nearly didn't have a Tachanka there. Shubsy in a little bit of trouble from Dur's. Bossman continues taking this tick damage. Going to meet this smoke head on the door. 20 seconds Goes out with the pistol, takes the damage. It's down into a 1-on-3 as Wolf grabs a second. Just a matter of time, and Lindenwood puts up their first round. Great response there by the Lions.
Great response. It's the response that they needed. They took what they saw from round one and actually made use out of it. Now, you don't have the clash on the board anymore. Maybe you didn't need the clash on the board anymore, though, seeing as though the way that you ran that defense was actually really worth it. You made sure that you poked and prodded around Pencil and made sure that Radar also didn't go down at the same time. And that was kind of crucial in a way because all of the focus was at that point on Radar. You wanted to make sure that you took him down. You had him through the floor. And then just as much as you can just rotate right back around, you took a page out of ISU Red's book in the way that they had been attacking up until that point. And now Lindenwood looking pretty sharp, but still down 3-1.
Yeah, we'll see if they can get their tides turned around here. Still 2 more rounds to go if you want to even things up against ISU Red. Lindenwood now going to go back down to the basement. A lot. It's her first time around. It was Ying, if everyone recalls here, with Cam that really kind of busted that round open. That being said, staying away from the Ying this time around, going to be going on Ace instead. And of course, with Thermite off the board, you do need some sort of hard breacher. So we'll see if this one works out for him. Bossman wasn't able to have a terrible impact on that previous round with Monty. We'll see if they can improve it this time around. Maybe put that shield to some good use. As this time it does look like it's going to be almost the same setup. There's still only 2 defenders on the bottom floor. I wouldn't be surprised at all if ISU Red really come out here with a quick attack.
And it seems as though they might. They are running a slightly different setup, but they still have all the tools they need. Now, when it comes to the defender setup, it looks as though it might also be a little different. So this is going to be brand new for me. This isn't something that I've necessarily seen too much of, as I saw that door was boarded off right in front of Chubsy as well. There's a lot of different moving pieces with this setup that they currently have. And one thing I can say about ISU Red as of right now, with Durr getting poked and prodded at, and he does not make it out of that one alive. Meech playing around that pillar, playing that pivotal first take roll, but Pencil was right there behind him and evens it up at 4-4. That's exactly who I was about to touch on, was Pencil. He's not on the Deimos. He is on the Grim, but no bees will be used as Chubsy comes back around to knock Pencil out. Bossman is getting ticked down right now by that fire, I can only assume, as Cam goes down as well. Lindenwood really turning it back on. Another one, a double for Radar. Bossman is out of the picture. It's up to Finka with 3 stems, 2 frags, and 4 enemies right in your face with 1:10 left.
Gonna have to reload that LMG soon as well, so that's gonna be a really big opportunity for Lindenwood to kind of pick something. Finka is lucky enough to get a kill for his frag grenade. Gonna miss under a little bit of duress there from the bullet stream. Now I'm gonna try to swing this doorway. I'm not gonna have too much success with only 50 seconds. Not much that Buck can do here, besides maybe getting a kill or 2. Good call out there from Buck, and instead is going to be the last to die. Wraithling takes them down, so another kill for the Smoke. The distraction attempt, while it was nice, did not work out there from Pencil.
And here we are now. Lindenwood looking really good, actually. ISU Red feel as though they've stalled a little bit on the attack. It's almost like they've tried to change what was working. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it, I would say. That doesn't necessarily mean that, oh, okay, you took Pencil off the Deimos, that's an insta-lose. Not necessarily. That's not really the way that I was thinking of it. I was thinking of it more like in the sense that they went to a completely different page in the strat book when the 3 pages you were already looking at were working out fine enough for you. If you catch my drift there, Fisher.
Just a little. First round defense now from Lindenwood. Didn't work out. Again, sound like a broken record the first time around. We'll see if the second time's a charm, though. They were able to retake some victories on their defense on both the top and bottom floors. So middle floor could be a repeat success, but no matter what, we already talked about it when we were kind of in that technical rehost. ISU Red putting up 3 attacking rounds. It's already a good half. You can lose this round and not feel bad about it if you're ISU. Expecting definitely going to take some pressure off here as Lindenwood yet again have one player inside the site. The rest up top. And the first time ISU Red attacked this site, they just not really rush planted, but they planted pretty fast. The rest of Lindenwood was caught upstairs trying to rotate down, didn't work out. They can do something similar here. There is one player on this floor. All they got to do is storm site, and they could try to do it again. Got to think, though, even on the floor, Lindenwood has to be prepared for that possibility.
You're exactly correct. You're exactly correct. Looking at it now, it looks as though they're kind of taking the same type of approach is Lindenwood, but you have to be careful. There is no Monty, and instead there's a blitz. So, as I was saying about the page turning, it looks as though they might actually be a little bit more aggressive on the site and a little less aggressive on the roamers this time around, and I don't necessarily know if that's going to work out for them, but it may at the same time.
See if that happens. Buck here on the blitz is going to be able to put a lot of pressure here onto Lindenwood. Still mostly upstairs, and there goes the sense wall on the sense right behind it as Shubsy is going to take down Bossman with the flames. That's a nice job as there will fall Wolf. Blitz gets punched and runs up against a wrong person. Meech can see right through that shield, and he can shoot through it too. Blitz goes down. There falls Cam as well, and Lindenwood is taking their revenge. 4-2 now. Looking to put up their third round of this game. One more is going to fall. Make it 2 as Durr picks up 1 as well. And just like that, Pencil and Durr try to take this back. Both defenders now sitting upstairs with more than a minute to go. All this attack has to do is be patient and wait for their angles. Damage taken here onto Pencil. It's going to be Wraithling to do it. Shubsy has one drawing close. They're going to need to be aware the Pencil is rotating here. And the diffuser's down in sight, so the defenders can sit and wait.
You have to take a back seat here if you're Lindenwood. You just have to. No other option. Now you know Pencil got moved off and back a little bit by the Fenrir mine. Chubsy is still doing everything that he can to make sure that Pencil can't walk into the site, but the problem is Durr is in the site, and that's exactly what you needed to do. Look down, take your back seat, and make sure you strap in, because Lindenwood have tied it.
Great round, great finish from Lindenwood there. It looked like ISU almost started clawing that one back, but they were not able to. So new band's going to hit the board as we have an even game going into the second half. I would say it's leaning ISU because of the rounds, or maybe Lindenwood because of momentum, but in all reality, this is a game that looks like it's going to come down to the wire. Ace and Clash both taken off the board. 2 quality bands here to start us out.
They are. And in all honesty, I would think ISU Red because they're going on their defense now, but you can't guarantee anything. I mean, Lindenwood could be the nastiest attacking team on layer that we've ever seen. We obviously just haven't had a chance to see that yet. So it all comes down to how, honestly, these first 2 rounds go, I'd say, and how these 2 teams kind of fall into each other's laps in a way, and what ends up happening. And, obviously the operator lineup is going to look a little different due to the bans Tachanka and Clash. If you would have told 2018 me that Tachanka and Clash were going to be banned in a match that I was casting, I would have called you crazy. And then, of course, Thermite and Ace being the 2 attacker bans. I would not be surprised at all if we saw Hibana be banned out next, but it would most likely probably end up being the Blackbeard or the Deimos if they get played. Wraithling is going to swap back onto that Blackbeard. Another pretty big resurgent pick, it has been Maverick, actually, and a word on the street is that Maverick will be getting a buff sometime soon. So, I mean, he was already so good in the hands of the pros, when it comes to like Maverick tricking and whatnot. And even if you're not a pro, I feel like Maverick has been making his rounds on a lot of these maps where the reinforced walls kind of are the main target points, so to speak. I mean, there are some maps that you can just go around the main breach and still do good enough to be able to win if you are the attackers. But I'd say one of those maps is not Lair. I'd say Lair actually is somewhat more focused on its main breach as well, and obviously Maverick going to play a little bit bigger of a role in that. I do enjoy where this Azami is, though, as we get ready to get round 7 started here. You're going to have to be very careful if Wraithling comes busting in there, though.
Definitely will be, and we'll see just how this first round goes. 50 seconds in and no deaths so far from either side. So both these teams doing a good job right off the bat. And this Deimos continues to see action. Going to be on Shubsy this time, though, instead of Pencil, who is now side swapped and is on the Goyo. You were talking about the Maverick. We'll see if it's able to do its job here on the wall. Maverick tricking can be difficult art if you're not used to it, but you got to expect at this level these players going to be very well versed in how to do so. They're holding this Nitro Cell, but that is a very tricky angle to throw out that door.
It is, but see, it also might work at the same time if Wolf is just a little farther back. Oh, but he can't quite get the proportions correct, and it might not end up working out for him. I'm not sure if he knows, but he does need to make sure that he gets those 2 sidebars down there at the bottom, right below the stars that are in the wall, and now he's just going to cut a square. Now it works. Now Wraithling can bust in there like the Kool-Aid man, and now you've got a lot of extra pressure being put on this A site.
Grenades going in, gonna force these defenders out of position. Buck does a little damage to himself, but still gonna manage to stall this push. That's gonna be Wraithling here, who's stuck outside waiting, sitting at 5-0, trying to push that number up just a tad. There's still defenders on the first floor, namely Pencil, who is about to sneak into this main lobby. If they don't check for this flank, could be really big late round for the Coolio. Speaking of late round, 30 seconds remaining here in round number 7. And here comes a push. Wraithling in, and so is the diffuser. It's being planted on the ground, and it is going to go off without a hitch. A little damage from the smoke, but it won't be enough. Wolf will get the diffuser, dies for their efforts. And there goes Wraithling, turn the wrong way, but get kill credit as 2 defenders fall. Shubsy and Radar each take down 1, but goes down as well to Meech. All of Lindenwood is getting involved. Shubsy goes down and cannot make the kill on the Osa. The last rolls through, and Lindenwood in a flurry of bullets managed to take that round.
Yeah, I mean, when we saw what time it was, we knew that it was time to go. And so did Lindenwood. They pushed their Blackbeard up. They made sure the plant got down. They supported with the Osa shield. They made sure that they had someone rotate around, like we saw right there at the end, getting the kill on the side of the hallway, or on the outside in the hallway. That was just perfect player placement from Lindenwood, I'd say. You made sure that you took as much time as you needed, making sure that the Maverick hole got open, making sure that Wraithling could put all of that extra pressure on, making sure that even the other site pressure that was being placed by, I believe it was 2 different people, was just as important. And then it was just snap your fingers, let's go. Like, they had the game plan laid out, ready. They were waiting on the plant at the same time that they were waiting on the Osa shield to go up, at the same time that they were waiting on their player to rotate. It came down to 20 seconds. They did everything right. They did everything that they needed to do, and Lindenwood actually looked very, very, very good on that first attack.
Yeah, they did. We'll see if they can recontinue that success on this basement site. Going to be using this Blackbeard yet again, so we'll see if Wraithling is able to make some entry. Got worried there for a little bit for Lindenwood right after round 1 of that attack. I mean, they got the diffuser down and then lost both the guys that were in the site, but were able to defend it from outside that main breach. So obviously not a terrible problem when you look at the end of it. Pencil going to be contesting this outside door here fairly heavily. An interesting choice, and we saw Lindenwood really spread out, right? They had a bunch of people when they defended it on this site. ISU, though, different story. Every single player is in this basement.
And that honestly might be the way to go, but it all really depends on how this attack is going to go for Lindenwood. You're making sure that you're putting all of this extra pressure on them so you can take as much time off the clock as you can. You can see Wraithling still thinks right now, due to all the drones being taken out, that Pencil is still on those tarps, but he is not there anymore. Obviously now he can see it. He's not on the stairs either. Pencil has actually backed up to his shield. What an insane Fenrir mine as well, to stop Wraithling from being able to push up too far on him. Now he's got him in his sights, but see, he might have shot a little too early there. Now out comes the frag grenade. The Fenrir mine has not been taken out, but you have to be careful of the help that Wraithling might have behind him. And he does. He has Wolf.
Yeah, good stack there for Lindenwood. We'll see if they're able to get any use out of those two stacked up on this side. Just over a minute left to play, and they're still dealing with things like the Fenrir mines are sure to be dealing with those smoke grenades soon as well. Buck is here on the Warden.
You didn't even know it.
Look at the high jump from Pencil, but now it's going to be Lindenwood falling. Wraithling is going to go down as well. That's a good response there from ISU off the sneak play by Pencil. 4 on 2, both Lindenwood and Stickers on the same side here. Is above, but will have to turn that way if they want to get down into this objective. It's going to be a real tough ask here for Lindenwood to put anything together because ISU Red can just sit and wait. They know Wolf's coming from this direction. They hear him, and it looks like it's Buck just on the other side of that wall.
They didn't even know it. I feel as though that was one that was deep in the bag of Pencil specifically, as he is the first and may even be the only, as he is the only member of ISU Red to fall as they take their first defense here on their map pick of Lair.
Good round there from ISU to even things back up. We said it might be a barn burner, and it's certainly looking that way for now. 4-4 as both these teams are tied, headed into round number 9. Going to go back upstairs, so unlike Lindenwood, ISU is going to opt not to attempt those first floor sites unless they have no other option. We'll see if they can defend it better this time. Obviously, keeping the breach closed is kind of hard. That being said, all they have is a Maverick and Habana. Bandits open. You have Mute. You have Kaid. You have 2 Rail if you want it. They're just going to end it again. I can't recall if they had Bandit the first time they attacked this site.
They did.
I think they did, yeah, and just couldn't keep the wall closed because of the Maverick.
Because of the Maverick, exactly. And
they
see, the exact same thing is about to happen. Wolf was on Thatcher the first time, and now they see that the pool has been spread up a little bit more thin on the ISU Red side. So he's just going to go back to doing exactly what he was doing. They had a default different attacker lineup set up ready in their head, and that's what's so good about attacker repick. Now we're going back to back with the exact same attackers on this site. We're going to have the Osa, we're going to have the Deimos, we're going to have the Blackbeard and the Maverick. I'm not 100% sure if we had the Ying, but the Ying can only do good things, especially when in the hands of Meech. So this looks as though it's going to be dang near a carbon copy of what ended up happening the last time we were here, but you're hoping, if you're ISU Red, for a little bit more stout of a defense. You do have the Echo that you're going to have to make sure that you keep safe, as well as Bossman, who might need to be your main point taker, but it looks as though Buck is going to try that out for himself as of right now.
And we'll see what they're able to do with it. Just under a minute gone so far, and it looks like Maverick is finally making their way over towards that wall. We'll see if Wolf's able to open this one up yet again, if ISU Red are going to be prepared for it. Gotta expect after round number 7, certainly need to know it's coming. 1 minute gone, and just as predicted, here Maverick is on this wall. The ISU defenders are inside, but we talked about it enough in round 7. Don't need to rehash it all here, but very, very hard to keep this wall closed. But can take an interesting angle here on the floor. Of course, Maverick can have to be opening the other way, so theoretically, not going to see anything. From this angle, might see a foot, and he does. Can't quite hit it, though, because now the wall is soft. Wraithling can push right on through, and that's what they do. Diffuser still in Wolf's hands, as Buck takes a little bit damage. Minute and a half to play, and Lindenwood are knocking on the door.
I don't know if Meech saw him on the stairs there. He might get caught out lacking, and he does. He barely misses Bossman, and Cam gets another one, a nade kill onto Durr from Wraithling. This is looking good right now for ISU Red, though.
It is so far. We'll see if Lindenwood can respond. 2 players down so far. and they will get one on the back end. A nice nade from Wraithling is going to take down Buck. Leaves us in a 3v3.
Back at it again.
Here comes a diffuser, though. The smoke is not going to reach this time, so Wolf will get that diffuser down easy, and they can just hide behind this. Osa comes off the plant, had it nearly on the ground. It was the Echo drone that got it as a C4. Will ring out. Boss Man with the kill. Now this is going to be much harder, but they have to get through their own doorway here. The defenders are in trouble now from this Kiba barrier. Yokai drone out, and now all down to one. Should be able to deny this plant. Gonna have the time, but they have the manpower. That's gonna be Cam taking them down with the shotgun. ISU regain their lead.
ISU looked so good in that defense. They had a pretty good, and that was the reason why they flexed Pencil over onto Echo. And in all honesty, I would not be surprised if we saw an Echo ban here. It's probably going to be smoke, but I would not be surprised if we saw an Echo ban here. That's the reason why you adapt and overcome in the way that you know you need to from what we have seen in the past. Instead, we're going to see a mirror because they took the future sites that ISU Red can go to at this point into consideration, which is understandable. The OSA is also interesting. I feel as though the OSA took a little bit more of a back seat within these past few rounds, but and even in the round that they succeeded, OSA was pushed very quickly off of her shield from the supporting position that she was in. So a little bit of like a question mark pick on that attacking ban, but I definitely would have went with Blackbeard, to be completely honest. But I mean, what can you do? Now you know that maybe this site isn't necessarily Blackbeard preferred, but Wraithling is obviously not going to care about that, as he has seen quite a bit of success so far. It does look good now, though, for ISU Red to be back in the lead, up 5-4. We do seem as though we're in for a barn burner here.
Yeah, it's really looking that way so far. Of course, this is going to be Lindenwood's chance to answer the score, right? They're going on to the first floor. Should have an easier time attacking this one. The Blackbeard has looked good, and Wolf is pretty consistently be getting this diffuser down. Certainly going to be some chances here for Lindenwood. If ISU Red takes this round, though, kind of opens them up to what they want to do on defense in the last two. So it goes without saying, but I'm going to say it anyway. Very, very important round for both of these teams to win.
100% sure. 100%. And when you look at it that way, every round is important, right? But this last specific round here is probably the most important for Lindenwood in order to make sure that they still have somewhat of a fighting chance, but you are getting pinched out. ISU Red. That is not at all what you wanted from Durr right there. Lindenwood looking good so far. That was a very, very, very heads-up play from the two attackers. North and south with it. That's all you needed.
Certainly seemed that way, as Durr will be the first one to fall here. 2 minutes left to play. ISU Red going to continue to try and hold out, but the attackers are knocking on the site. Wraithling is already up in that hallway, and now it's going to be Buck taking a ton of damage from the window. An interesting angle here by Radar. It's going to work out beautifully. Track Stinger is going to slow down any remaining defenders as well. Talked about it with Lindenwood. We'll talk about it now with ISU. Only one player on site, which means defense now is relegated to the second floor. One drops a hatch. It's going to be
That was a nice
Pencil,
kill, though.
who will pick up the first. Takes a bit of damage rotating into site. Lindenwood knows exactly where he is. Bossman going to have to do a lot of work from the top floor. We'll get the damage on Meech. Needs to go for the kill, but won't get it. Call it a triple for the Ryora. Another one rings through for Wolf, and Lindenwood have tied us back up at 5.
Wow. This is a lot more competitive than I was expecting it to be. ISU Red have come out swinging, and then Lindenwood have just stunned them, knocked them on their tail, kept them on their toes. I mean, this is really going to come down to the wire. I feel as though if Lindenwood can win this, then Clubhouse might be at least a little bit easier for them to win. Because this is ISU Red's map pick, you kind of would have expected them to continue their 3-0 streak and, you know, continue to a point where they felt as though they were comfortable, but no lead has been comfortable so far for either team. Lindenwood are definitely fighting in the way that you need to see another team fighting on the opposing map pick, and if they can take this one, it might not be as much of a fight on Clubhouse, but we will have to wait and see on that one. It looks as though Wraithling is going to pick back into his Blackbeard. Meech is going to pick into the Ram. That's going to be a good combo with the Fuse, of course. And keeping Wolf exactly where he's been on the Striker, one of my personal favorite attackers. It's definitely worth it every time to get that little bit of extra utility if you have a good team around you.
Yeah, and of course we commented it at the start, and we'll sure to say it many more throughout the day. What is a good team? That is a good team to surround somebody like that Striker with. Is now going to be a very important round. Whichever one of these teams gets a win here in round 11 will move on to match point, guarantee themselves at least an appearance in overtime. Other competitors are going to try to stop that at all costs. It's going to be a basement bomb site here for ISU Red, and similar to last time, they are all going to be in the basement. No first floor presence. So this time Lindenwood, it's going to go better for them, right? Because last round that it got de-raveled by the player lying down behind a table that they didn't drone out. And now they know that there's nobody upstairs as we say that. Of course, a caster curse comes into effect, came there and gets some damage, maybe 5 whole HP off a Wraithling before he's able to put down the shield.
They're working so much faster than they were, though. They're using Wraithling as a literal battering ram, making sure that he pushes up and pushes anyone out of the way who doesn't need to be there, so they can make sure that this ram and fuse setup gets a chance to work. They've got gridlock tracks covering their backs as well. They're doing everything they can to make sure that this specific, as I say that, pencil, they're doing everything they can to make sure that this specific setup works out for them. And as of right now, it seems as though it's going to. But you got to know Pencil's going to hold that cross. And you had no idea he was there, did you, Radar? 5-4. ISU Red are looking primed and ready. That now means that Chubsy has to rotate back. That makes Meech stop looking at the floor and start looking at his rotation. Wraithling now has someone on him. How do you have any extra men to be able to pinch this player out? Wraithling, you can't sprint at him. Durr finds Chubsy on the other side of the map. It's not looking good at all for Lindenwood. Pencil still making sure that Wraithling is tied up. Wraithling is going to get pinched out here if he doesn't get any help, or he's just going to ADS right into Pencil. 5-2. ISU Red are looking primed and ready to take this one to match point.
And barring any monumental collapse from them, they are going to do that. ISU Red knocking on the door here. We'll see if Lindenwood has what it takes to answer. Be very difficult for them to claw this round back, but they have diffuser. What they don't have is time. Only 20 seconds here for the Lions to get this one done. So ISU Red with that kill, with the diffuser down, now with Meech stranded on the first floor, are going to push us to match point. The underdogs here are the first to get to 6. Lindenwood going to have to win this next round if they want any chance at taking the first map. Gets a kill for the road, make it nearly a second as Buck is able to escape, but that is going to be it for Meech. Time runs out. ISU to match point.
Not at all what you would have expected. Not at all what you would have expected. But in all honesty, this is, I mean, hey, it's been quite some time since I've been back in the saddle, and this has been a very worthwhile match to pay attention to. I didn't necessarily know how this was going to go looking at it from the outside, but yeah, this is looking really good right now. ISU Red are looking really good on their map pick. I could very, very, very easily see overtime happening here, though. I don't think Lindenwood are going to go out without a fight. They might need to change up their strategy, though. I mean, looking at this floor, you don't want to run the exact same thing again, especially after you got stopped on it last time.
Yeah, very, very interested to see how they're going to approach this one, and let's not like sugarcoat it, right? They've had 0 success at defending this top floor. Well, I guess they did win a previous round on it, but even so, the plant would have gone down if it wasn't for that echo, and now no echo in hand. Yeah, I don't know. I don't exactly know why they don't take the echo here. If they didn't have an echo, no doubt about it, they would not have round 7, 8. Would not have won.
I believe so, yeah. And it does seem as though Lindenwood did change up their strategy just a little bit. They're bringing the Ash, they're bringing the Montaigne, and they're bringing the Sins instead of bringing the Osa and the Blackbeard and the Maverick. but that doesn't make too much of a difference, especially if you know that the defense is going to try to stay within their same set of city limits that they had been staying on when it comes to this site. It just feels as though you might need to approach it slightly differently, and they're trying to by not focusing on that main wall. But it feels as though everywhere Chubsy runs, he's getting interrupted. So you definitely have to be as careful as possible because you cannot. The way it looks right now, you cannot lose Chubsy early.
Yeah, really can't, and we'll see if they do. It's almost like they kind of tried to answer a potential response that ISU was going to have to their previous strats, but have not done that yet. 1 minute gone so far in round number 12. Lindenwood needs this one to stay in it. Right now, we're getting a little bit of fireworks. We'll see just what happens as both teams still trying to push forward.
Looking at it now, Wolf might be thinking that he can take a little bit of extra advantage on the back end from all of the pressure that is being put out right here by Radar and Chubsy on main stairs. Wraithling just looking through and looking back, and look at that. ISU Red knew their time was now. You still have Mute Jammer set up in sight. You still have 1:10 to work with. Back up, go around if you need to. Make sure that you play your life, because as of right now, they don't have a clear way into sight, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. Cam making sure that he takes Wraithling out. Wraithling was singled out on his own, trying to hold a nice little angle, but all he had to do was rotate back, and it's a 4-2 now as 2 more kills go off the board. It's up to Radar and Chubsy to save this one. Take that back, it's up to Chubsy. In order to be able to save this one on map 1, on ISU Red's map pick, it is a 4v1. Montaignes have done it before, but they will not do it here. Pencil gets the last laugh on map 1, 7-5. Go the 0-2 ISU Red?
Yeah, I mean, great game from them, and it's as we predict, right? It's down to the wire. It's back and forth. The stats don't show it all. ISU Red takes map number 1, so they're out ahead of the Lindenwood Lions. It's important to point out, though, right? This was ISU's map pick. You know, maybe expect the team to perform a bit better there. We're going to Clubhouse, which is, of course, Lindenwood's map pick. They look very good on it. They're a good team. This game was a close one. I think it's more likely than not that we make it to a round number 3, game number 3, map number 3, whatever you want to call it. I think Border's in the cards here because despite that loss, I would still favor Lindenwood heading into map 2.
I would kind of say the same thing, but I feel like ISU Red. Okay, so I will say I feel like both of these teams adapted very well to what was going on. Within what we did wrong versus making it right the next time that we had to go to that site, or making sure that even if we wanted to bring the exact same lineup, we played it just slightly differently in order to kind of throw our opponents off. I think both teams did well at that. But I do feel as though ISU Red did do that a little bit better. So, I mean, if ISU Red can take advantage of a few shortcomings that they notice in Lindenwood's game here on Clubhouse, we might not see a map 3. But it all depends on, obviously, the two teams, how they continue to compete. Map 1 was a real good one. If you are just tuning in, it was 7-5 on ISU Red's map pick of Lair. We are now, after this short break, going to be going to map 2, which is Lindenwood's map pick of Clubhouse, right on the other side of this break. Might be in for a huge play here. Exactly what I was thinking. He was opening up. He was making space for him. Cam going crazy. Is holding such a tight angle. Cam actually just got a view on. Boss Man is getting ticked down right now by that fire. I can only assume. I don't know if Meech saw him on the stairs there. He might get called out lacking, and he does.
It is so far. We'll see if Lindenwood can respond.
Oh,
Players down so far.
This last specific round here is probably the most important for Lindenwood in order to make sure that they still have somewhat of a fighting.
Hackers are knocking on the site. Wraithling is already up in that hallway, and now it's going to be Buck.
Wraithling is tied up. Wraithling is going to get pinched out here if he doesn't get any help.
Touch your tree, don't catch tree, man. Go to them. I don't want you to know them upcoming new artists. Go to watch out. What watch out? Them stink like my money. By the way, I don't want you to know nice. I only want you to the river.
nice nade from Ray.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. You are not mistaken. What you were seeing on your screen and what you have seen during the intermission. We're on Clubhouse now, ladies and gentlemen. It will be map 2 of this best of 3 series. This is Lindenwood's map pick. Of course, map number 1 was ISU Red's map pick of Lair. Very competitive match, going the distance without going into OT, in which ISU Red won it 7-5. Now here we are on Clubhouse, Lindenwood's map pick. Of course, the Ace and the Mira being banned out is absolutely zero surprise to me when it comes to this map, Fisher.
Yeah, I think that's one of the best things about the new ban system, right? You can kind of ban operators without having to worry about handcuffing yourself, and it's perfect when it comes to Mira, right? So strong in this map. Of course, you want to use it if you're on the defense, but yeah, get it out of there. I love the Maverick ban as well. This is about one of the only, I would maybe do it on Night Haven Labs as well.
Yeah.
Really one of the 2 maps where you want to ban Maverick, but definitely like getting that out of the way here. And no Clash ban, honestly, I like it from, I think it was Lindenwood. It was ISU Red that dealt with it last time, but we saw Clash for one entire round in map number 1, and she was dead within the minute. I don't think Clash is nearly as big of an issue as a lot of these teams make her out to be. I think Lindenwood doing the right thing, instead targeting that Tuberel and the Mira, 2 operators that have insane levels of success on this map, specifically the top floor.
Specifically the top floor, you're correct. At the same time, though, you've got the Tubarão and the Mira. These are the definite two defender bans that needed to happen. Then you've got the Maverick and the Ace. It's the exact same thing that you said was about to come out of my mouth. Night Haven and Clubhouse are probably the two non-negotiables, I would say, when it comes to making sure that Maverick is one of your first few sets of bans. Along with Ace, I can kind of see it and I can kind of agree with it. Ace has just become such a important ban on a lot of different maps, and you're not as handicapped anymore. Like you said, you've got that extra ban in your back pocket if things go awry, if you need to ban a certain specific attacker out. That may or may not end up being Ace, depending on what ends up getting taken off the board and who ends up doing good. And speaking of doing good, Cam's actually in a really good spot here in order to be able to take Meech out. Just as I was about to say, he needed to focus on the koozie wall. He at least got a little here of him shooting through it, and Meech goes down early. He only got a few buck shots off into that jacuzzi wall, and now Cam is free as a bird to rotate back down completely healthy.
And throwing out a little taunt in the chat as well, Cam certainly feeling good about that one. Pencil is still upstairs on this top floor. I don't know if Linden would have spotted them out. Haven't been keeping close an eye on the droning situation there for the Lions, but they're all pushing in from the other side of the building, so they might not be aware. They're still cautious though, and if nothing else, a track stinger should be enough to slow the Warden down as long as they're upstairs as well. It's going to kind of force Pencil to just rotate back to site, and even so, it'll be very difficult as players continue Center and Pencil with extreme levels of patience.
And he has to, in all honesty, because he might be able to pick someone like Chubsy off here. Chubsy is not going to be as focused as he might need to be, and it looks as though Pencil's actually going to focus more on the rotate here at this point, and he could be pretty deadly if he were to rotate properly here. Wraithling, he might end up even catching him on his drone, but it all depends on these track stingers. A sound is going to be made regardless, and I don't even know if a attacker is going to have any reason to rotate back up that way. So Pencil is just going to have to wait on his opportunity to strike, and it could be right now as he gets rid of the track stingers, but it is in his better judgment to go ahead and rotate back around. Wolf, however, is in a stalemate at the bottom of main stairs with 30 seconds left. He and Wraithling need to make a move as Chubsy drops Oil Pit and takes Buck out to even everything up with 20 seconds left. He's getting pinched again, but he's going to get that fire out, and that might be the dagger.
It's going to be a very difficult last couple seconds. Only two players in the basement here for the ranging into the kitchen. They'll get one.
Oh.
They never heard the one up top. And Pencil gets two. It's a misplay from Lindenwood. They'll get the kill back. Diffuser in hand. Dropping down, but the clash is up. The players are down, and it will be Bossman with the final kill. ISU continues their hot. Lindenwood, they never heard the Warden shoot the tracks.
Nope. They were too far away from it. They were all at the base of the stairs, focusing on the take that needed to happen with, at that point, like 19 seconds on the clock. That's exactly what you need to. Pencil is pivotal. You cannot stop him from doing what he's going to do and working the magic that he's going to work. He did it on Grim. He did it on Deimos. He did it on Fenrir. He's going to continue to do it now on whatever operator he wants to be, whether it be the Warden, the Bandit, any other operator he picks. He has been one of the most pivotal players for that specific reason on this ISU Red squad. We saw them get out to a hot 3-0 start last map, and now they're up 1-0. You think history might repeat itself, but I will say Lindenwood looked better on their opening attacks on layer than they have so far, even though it's only been one round here on their map pick of Clubhouse.
Yeah, big opening defensive round there for ISU. So now they're going to focus on the top floor. Two top floor sides on this map, so definitely going to have their pick of the litter. Lindenwood again and try to have to bust this one open. Meech on the Ash here. We saw it on the player profile back all the way at the team in at the start of the game. Quite seen Mitch on that pick until now, so we'll see what that R4C is able to do in the young gunner's hands. Certainly, we can think, got to be able to do quite a lot. Very, very strong player, good gun skill. It looks like this Thermite going to be focused on opening up these doors. It can ban trick this from the defense, but of course, Capital, someone on the window, any number of things could throw
They have
that
the mute,
into
though.
jeopardy.
They have the mute. They're going to focus a little bit more on making them waste
No bandit
these
trick.
Thatchers on it.
Thatcher shotgun
At the
rush.
same time, whoa! It didn't matter.
Wow.
A double for Boss Man. Unbelievable. Another kill goes off on the other side, as well as Chubsy getting Durr. But oh my lord, is it looking good right now? That was not the play, Lindenwood. You can't do that. Yes, utility got wasted, but I mean, ISU Red were there and ready for it.
Yeah, that's interesting. As a third will fall through that wall. I mean, the rush strat, that's something you do if you can't get the wall open. You open the wall with two minutes to play. You're gonna find crossfires. You have a Capital to force that smoke out of the bathroom. So many things you could have done. They kind of just
That was unbelievable.
toss it away. I guess they're gonna have to attack the top floor next again. Assuming the Meech doesn't win this round, which, I mean, let's be honest, is still possible. The important walls are opened, is full health, has one of, if not the best gun in the game on his kit. So very, very much a possibility looking weakly here. As one player trapped in the hallway. It looks like it's going to be Buck there, just lying down in the corner.
Pencil keyboard warrioring his way into Meech's head, and that might have been what was needed. I mean, he's obviously going to continue to play his angles, and I mean, honestly, if I'm Lindenwood, I'm taking a reset round off this. You see it so often in Pro League, of course, where you're down to one, the attack and or the defense didn't work out for you. You just stay out of the way. Don't feed their ego. Don't feed their KD. Just use these last 30 seconds to pay attention to what you like. Hands off the mouse and keyboard. Pay attention to what you did wrong with your team in a spot where you can't get killed. Take as much time as you need here. Use it kind of like a timeout. They need to be talking over why that didn't work. And I'll give you one word. Dumb. You can't do that. Cam runs out, gets the final kill. I don't mean to be brutally honest, but that's what I bring to the table when you've got me on the mic. Lindenwood, that was horrible. You did not need to do that. Not with the
speaking of
specific
doing
amount
good,
of Cam is
that
actually
you
in a
have
really
left.
good spot.
It all
started
and
with
now
Meech,
Cam
of
is
course,
free as a bird,
getting knocked
to
out
rotate
and down.
back.
As wait a minute, this might not be.
It's round one. It's round one replay.
Okay, there we go. Well, either way, I mean, hey, that's part of the reason why they lost that round as well. Meech got taken down so early. The Buck was such a pivotal piece. And this, I mean, honest to God, I'm gonna say it right now. We should have watched that replay because Lindenwood would have been at least a little bit happier on that one, because what we just saw in round 2 was putrid. That was not a very good attack at all whatsoever. ISU Red literally read them like a book and was ready for it before they even opened the book. If that makes any sense at all, like. Let's
a little
try to
bit,
put that
kind of like
If
stealing
we're
the
Lindenwood.
answer sheet from your teacher for the test.
Exactly.
Which I've never done and do not condone. But
Do not.
as we move into round number 3, ISU Red now gonna be able to defend the other top floor site, Lindenwood. Gonna have to find some other way to attack this. And yeah, I'm someone that likes rush plays too. You know, when they catch defense off guard, it's
What
really
was
good.
that?
But the setup, they were doing everything right on offense. They had some good opportunities. We'll see what they do this time around. I seriously doubt they try anything like that again. And now with the Monty and the Capital, should be able to push this catwalk fairly easily. There was no Wamai, wasn't banned out, just straight up not taken here by ISU. So you got to imagine with Lindenwood is still going to be able to take this balcony, catwalk, whatever you want to call it, fairly easily.
Yeah, especially since Cam had to waste one of his zombie barricades on a funny little glitch there. Yeah, but see, at the same time, Cam still has so much pressure up here, and he will get another, I believe, another zombie barricade before it's all said and done if he stays alive long enough, and he most likely will, because this is certainly a questionable attacking strat from Lindenwood here. They do have the wall open that they need, and they do have radar on glass looking through secret, and he actually might be able to get somebody. They've got a few pings there from Chubsy They might be able to pinch this player playing below out, but you got to be careful of the stairs, and Meech was ready for it. Durr is off the board early now. At the same time, the other set of stairs was being watched, need to rotate back up, as well as Cam needing to rotate back up, but he's still getting some good shots onto Radar. Being a man down doesn't necessarily matter right now for them. But that fire, oh no, the fire from the Capital Bolt. But see, there you go. You have another Azami in your pocket.
Yes, they do, and able to get it back up. Radar here, trying to fire through the smoke, do something on the cap player sees. Okay, just a gun. I was wondering why he wasn't shooting, but question answered. This game will go down regardless. Bossman gonna get one in response, so we're down to a 4v3. Can't quite see if there's a C4 available for the mute, but at least one more smoke grenade, and it's gonna force out Shubsy. Wolf taking damage too, and his
Wolf is inside though.
Not damaged, but cannot move, so
he's
just
in a good
put
spot.
the diffuser down. Smart play covered by the glass. Will get one. That's gonna be a big kill from Radar. Making a second kill from Radar. All onto Bossman into post plant with a shotgun. Just walks in front of the glass, who will not hit the shots. Radar unable to. Now stunned out by own Fenner mine. What?
That was quite odd. They don't have a Brava, so yeah I don't know what happened there.
I might have missed some sort of update. If someone else can have it.
It's definitely a positive game. Yeah, this game does not need any fixes at all. Ubisoft. Either way, though, I will say, I mean, a better, but not the best attack from Lindenwood. I mean, they're getting better as they go along. They're figuring out which strats are going to work against ISU Red and which just plain out aren't. And that one was definitely successful, albeit ugly. But hey, it doesn't always have to be pretty in order to be effective, as Azami and Montaigne are going to be our next set of bans here. And now you don't have to worry about the Azami setup, which was a lot more prominent than the Montaigne play was, in my opinion. But obviously an attacker and a defender needed to be taken off the board. I feel like Azami was a very important ban there, and Montaigne is just kind of a little bit more of a supporting type ban.
See what these teams make of it. Surprisingly, Kaid goes unbanned from Lindenwood here towards the defense, which is going to be useful towards those hatches. Granted, not much else Thatcher's on the board. Azami could be a problem. Really wasn't for them on that top floor hold. They were able to deal with it pretty effectively, but it can be an issue, so I definitely don't hate the ban from Lindenwood as ISU. Gonna reattempt this downstairs site, and you gotta think things might go a little differently at Lindenwood. Are gonna be when they're droning and clearing, because the last time really hurt them came from behind. Or I believe it was Pencil that round, not Cam. In the Warden.
It was Pencil. You're right. It really did hurt him. It really did hurt him. And like I said, Pencil doesn't have the most kills right now. He's actually third on his team. You have not read the bottom of your screen wrong, and yet he has still been one of, if not the most pivotal defender so far for ISU Red. We've only got a couple rounds of ISU Red left on defense, in which I think Lindenwood, when they get to their defense, is actually going to apply a lot of extra pressure and turn the heat up, so to speak, on ISU Red. So you're looking to hopefully get out and stay out in a bit of a lead here, and that is a nice way to kind of combat what you might have thought was the glass, but there is no glass currently. Cam is still paying as much attention as he thinks he needs to, but Meech and Wraithling are on their ball right now, making sure that they get everything done that they need. Of course, Jubsy takes a lot of damage. I believe it might have been from an impact grenade, or maybe it was just that pipe. I'm not sure, but either way, that was a lot of damage on Jubsy right there.
Yes, it was going to be hurting for the rest of this round, taking down some glow canisters, a little bit of utility as well, and tucking that drone away. Going to be difficult for Cam to see, and cannot take it those floorboards. Pencil is going to try this flank again, and now that they take down the flank drone, sure, they're not going to be able to see you anymore, but they know exactly what's going on. Cam will fall through the floorboards. Meech with the kill. How do you not go for the flank again?
What?
They do it again. He took down the drone. What are you doing?
Pencil. Oh my lord. Wraithling gets Buck, but Pencil is still on the board. Radar might not even have a clue.
Yeah, there has to be an air dab or something at the bottom portion
Oh!
of the stairs. I says it could just be a distraction. He's coming from the same way every time. How is no one killing Pencil? I don't get it. Ace, help me out.
They're just plainly not paying enough attention. They're focusing more on the moving parts than they are on the sitting doll. It's unbelievable. If it's happened once, it will happen again.
Third time's a charm.
Wraithling, you're in a bad spot here, bud. And he loses it! Pencil was blind! He was blind! Good lord! Oh, he almost got
so
another
will not
one.
get the last.
Wow. He hurt him, though. I mean, come on, Pencil.
10 seconds to go for Radar to get through this doorway, get the diffuser down, and get 2 kills, and won't even get the first. This is going to be Dur to take him down, and I know I'm maybe harping on a bit, maybe seems unfairly, but 2 rounds in a row, not only that they get the first one, because granted, that first kill, maybe they didn't have anyone dead, so you can't constantly be checking that flank drone, but after he got the kill, they just forgot about him. It's not like he disappears into thin air, he's still up there.
No, that's fair. That's honestly fair. And I'll tell you right now, something had to have happened with Radar. I actually saw it. Shout out TikTok. I saw it the other day where there's this thing called like it's like the door frame effect or something like that, where when you walk into another room, you completely forget about what you were thinking about prior. And that's exactly what happened to Radar. When he walked into the kitchen, he completely forgot that he needed to focus on Pencil on the stairs. One flashbang is not going to it's not going to make him go running, albeit it kind of did, but still he ended up taking Radar out at the end of the day anyway. So it's like, I mean, what, really? We're really not focusing him again?
5 seconds left.
Well, if it gets to the chains where they go to that side again, which of course could only happen in overtime, so we might not see it. There's no way it happens a third time. So let's just hopefully we can sit back on our laurels. Yeah, I mean, we wouldn't be able to tell until TK. So I'm just assume it's not going to happen again as Lindenwood now tries to attack this top floor. And of course, we'll remember, utility-wise, they did fine the first time around. They opened that bathroom wall up extremely quickly. Could have had a good crossfire. Looks like they didn't lose too many members anywhere else. And it does not look like they're rushing this time. Thermite does not have that shotgun. Go ahead and go with that AR this time around. So going to be a much more conservative attack. At least it looks like on the surface here from Lindenwood in round number 5. Just over 2 minutes to go, and we'll see which team gets the first blood. And it is going to be Lindenwood. Glass through the window with a nice kill. Finds a leg. Cam, look in the wrong direction.
Cam was trying to fight it, but he couldn't. He just couldn't quite get the better of Radar on that exchange. Now Dur getting droned out from behind, Radar looking straight at where he was. Now we can see that there is a ping on Dur. So Radar, he still has one of his smoke grenades in his back pocket, but still, at the same time, he did just end up having to waste one right then. Dur getting shot at, I believe it was from down the hallway through the wall, possibly even. Not 100% sure, but Meech is putting a lot of pressure on these scrambling defenders. I will say, though, Buck in a good enough spot to take Chubsy out, but Buck does get downed in the process.
There's one on the ground. Only one player left alive. It's Pencil. Radar and the Glass are getting it done. Pencil pushes us to a 2v2, but it's post-plant the C4.
It's Pencil! It's Pencil!
The diffuser is down. The team kill won't matter. It's a 1v1 post-plant for ISU Red and Linden. Window still searching for his first kill here in this game and just might get it. Pencil seeing the diffuser, knows that Wolf has to be outside. The question is he going to jump out or try to bait out the window? We'll jump out!
Oh,
he gets the kill!
My
Triple
God!
For Pencil. That is on the other side of the wall. The icon nearly baited me there. And that is going to be a round win for ISU Red. They put 4 up in this defensive half.
Oh my lord. We all know it. We've all seen it, especially if you know basketball in any sort of way. Ben Simmons, 2016 first overall pick. I believe it was Skip Bayless, gets live with a camera on his face. LeBron, we're
Colin
good.
Cowherd. Colin Cowherd.
It was Colin
Cowherd.
Cowherd. You're right.
My bad.
Colin Cowherd gets on the screen and he goes, LeBron, we're good. Ben Simmons is here now. And I know that
Iconic.
Pencil is obviously a lot better than Ben Simmons because my God, has he been him? He has been number 1 overall pick worthy. He has been better than LeBron. This is insane. You're putting the belt to them on their map pick, making them look stupid in front of the Midwest society that we have cooking up here. It's honestly unbelievable. It is unbelievable. They let him slide twice, and then he absolutely goes ballistic on the team during that last round, and here we are now. ISU Red are up 4-1. I said that they needed to take at least 2 on their defense because of the way that Lindenwood looked on the attacking round that they won. Now Lindenwood have fell all the way back down to the bottom of the pyramid like they looked back in round 2.
Round number 6 on the horizon here for ISU. Trying to take their 5th defensive round would be a very impressive feat. It's a very impressive team. Got to keep in the back of our minds, though, this is still Lindenwood's map. Well, it's definitely problematic that you only get 1, maybe 2 attacking rounds, depending on how this number 6 goes. Gotta imagine they'll be comfortable when it comes to this defensive half, and I gotta think, for momentum-wise at least, you really want to take this round. I mean, obviously, if you only have attack, it's not beatist, but ISU Red, off the back of these last 2 rounds, they're rounds they maybe not shouldn't have won, but shouldn't have been in, right? I mean, the jump out the window to get the post play and defuse, the triple kill flank shouldn't have happened, but on very well, it's now that garage, right, but is fairly safe in that current position.
Safe enough, but yet Chubsy is still getting hurt, and look at that. Pencil with another one on the most integral piece of this attack. Chubsy through the wall. The nitro cell blows up the pipe to finish Chubsy off. And now you have to scramble as an attack. Now you've got a lot more on your plate than you needed because you don't have Chubsy in front of you anymore. You can't take it as slow as you wanted to originally. Now you have to advance in a way that you might not have originally scripted.
And look at all, we haven't talked about it a whole ton, but look at the drone situation. 8 are dead for Lindenwood.
Oh my
That could be
lord.
some of the problems on like these kills Pencils are getting, the kills through the walls, the off angles. They just don't have the skill. A pretty good wall reach here from Wraithling, as that sight wall is going to come open. Cam taking a little bit of damage as Wolf tries to get the kill through the wall, and won't
Pencil?
happen. Pencil gets another double digits, 10 kills.
He's going to get another one.
Make it a triple.
He's going to get another one!
Quadra kill for Pencil. Wraithling is the last, is the ace around the corner, knows exactly where this thermite is. 12-3, 13-3 would be enough for the Penta, but it won't happen. Wraithling shuts it down, so a little bit of respite for Lindenwood, but the round is looking all but lost.
Oh my lord. And I know this is your map pick, Lindenwood, but going down 5-1 is not a good look. You're going to have to be the most stalwart defense I've ever seen on Clubhouse. It's unbelievable what we have just seen. Pencil gets a 4-piece, and Durr finishes off the round for his team. I mean, hey, my better than LeBron quote is actually looking pretty good right now.
Yeah, it kind of is pairing it up right now. Doing very, very good as we get towards this second half of the game. Band's going to be rolling through anytime. ISU Red only needs 1 attacking round to push themselves towards overtime. Of course, 2 will win it, and you can't deny momentum is on that side. Lindenwood.
Oh, yeah.
We saw it in the pregame. We mentioned it in the trying to keep this win streak alive, and they got to get something turned around right now. And the Kai ban is smart from ISU Red. It's going to make defending that basement very difficult. I'd love to see a mirror ban come out here too, but we'll see what they prioritize with that second takeaway.
Bandit instead. I can understand that though. I honestly can, due to you just want to make it as easy as possible. And we saw ISU Red play a lot of shields when they attacked on Layer. It blanked on me for a second there. When they attacked on Layer, they were a very oppressive team. They made sure that they had pockets of action going on all around the sites, and made sure that one little piece could pop off at any time, rotate around, do anything that they needed to do. They were a very Montaigne heavy team, as well as a little bit of Blitz and a little bit of Blackbeard mixed in there. Montaigne, Blackbeard, and Blitz are all available to ISU Red, but it does not at this current moment look like they're going to use them due to the site. We've got 2 hard breachers, we've got a Ying, we've got Pencil back on the Grim, and of course we have Buck back on the Ram now. It looks as though they're going to be going for at least a little bit more of a top-down take.
5 seconds left.
Certainly appears that way. We'll see what shakes out as round number 7 starts right now. Lindenwood facing a bit of trouble. It's a good team, and it is still possible for anything to happen here in week number 3 of Midwest R6. And they have the mirror up, so it's going to be a big asset that we didn't see on ISU Red's turn because Lindenwood turned out banning it away. Sure, Hatch is going to be harder, but if you have a staunch second floor defense, could hold that off. We see it play very off-site, and of course, as I say that, why would the Caster's Curse not happen, as all 5 members
Exactly. Yep. As soon as we decide it's time to bring it up, they decide that
Always
they are
seems to go
going
that
to
way.
go the opposite direction. Yep.
That's okay, though. That's okay. Still time for the curse to be proven wrong. 1 minute gone so far. No kills from either side. So it looks like ISU are going to be taking this one very safe, very conservative on their opening. They get the Ram to do more than enough to open it. With the Sabana, too, they actually
Nice
walk
wasted
into the kitchen
C4.
to open that hatch. C4 will find nothing here from Wraithling, but a good attempt nonetheless. Sabana going to make dealing with that mirror fairly easy, too, if they're able, or ever able to get Linus. Look like the Impact Nation will be opened up momentarily, and of course, there it goes.
I like the idea of not pressuring dirt as much and making sure that you put the extra bit of pressure on the kitchen. Now you know that you've got at least a Ram and possibly a Hibana up there. Obviously, Pencil has rotated back around with Cam. Cam is actually going to drop Moto. They caught him on the Cam Ruz right then, and he's going to just be kind of poking and prodding around as Durr ends up taking Wolf out on that long angle. A smoke grenade has been... Oh, wow. Okay, Meech slides back for Wolf onto Durr. A smoke canister has once already been used. Will Meech be able to get away with the Pencil play? He won't. As Boss Man actually covers his back end and takes Meech out. Cam is not in the greatest position of all time, but Boss Man makes sure that Chubsy won't be a part of it. Cam takes Wraithling out on his way to planting. Radar does get Pencil. The Nitro Cell, I mean, he just kind of had nothing left that he could do. Buck gets the last laugh. Nitro Cell blows up in his face, and we wait all the way until 6-1 to take our timeout. Zay, that's quite an interesting strat there, brother.
Yeah, it's something that I feel a lot of college teams in particular do, or at least maybe it's just because we cast more college, we see it more, but teams not taking it until they're down 1-6. The problems have been there for about 3-4 rounds in a row. You're gonna take it
Quite a
year.
few.
That being said, I think it kind of makes sense to either take it this round, taking it after like round 5, right? You only have one more round on defense. Maybe, or on attack rather in that case, maybe they can get their defense on track here, but of course it has to be all flawless from here on out. That means playing at least 3 of these 4 bomb sites. Can't drop one, and with the role that ISU's on, with the kills Pencil has, I think it's a stretch to think that the Lions are staying alive here in this game too. But it is possible.
I definitely do not think that is going to happen. But yeah, I mean, anything is possible. ISU Red honestly looked pretty good on their attack, and they didn't even show all of their cards because they didn't run any type of shield. They didn't run any type of heavy support and then the occasional one or two off-ball linebacker attackers, so to speak, type of strat that they had a lot of success with on Lair, and now that's exactly what they're doing. They've got Buck, they've got Cam. I almost called him Karn. Sorry. They've got he's kind of playing like him in all honesty right now. But they've got Buck and they've got Cam on the like I was alluding to, like the kind of rotate back around type of attackers here. You've got Pencil on the hard breach as well as Durr on the hard breach. Not 100% sure why Bossman swapped off and onto the Grim, but maybe they're looking at a little bit more of just a straight window type of take and just going to let Cam and Buck kind of rotate below and around on their own.
See what the plan is here. Right into round number 8 we go. Lindenwood needs to stay alive here. And it could be a stretch. ISU, look, they had a very good attack round right there in round number 7. Just got to repeat that success one more time in these next 5 rounds. Plenty of hard breach, as of course the site is going to be on that gym bedroom, so they're going to have a much more heavy cash push than we saw on the side of Lindenwood. They did it once back in round number 5, but really kind of had a lot on that bathroom side, so we'll see if this strat is successful for ISU Red.
Very true. I don't hate the defender setup here. Oh, especially with Meech getting Buck through the wall. Or through the window, sorry. Wow. That was an actual pretty nice opening pick from Lindenwood there. I don't hate the defensive setup here, but you just kind of have to be prepared for anything. And Durr gets caught rotating off by Radar, who was on drone. I'm not 100% sure if this is just sloppiness from ISU Red, or maybe all of their pieces weren't in proper places at that point. We did kind of catch Durr falling off the roof as he went down.
Yeah, regardless though, good start for Lindenwood. They'll take any break they can get. Wow, and that's a big... The bullet misses. Reaches their Radar, nearly falling at the top. The Grim Bee is going to force him out of position for the time being. Lindenwood keeps getting cut down. The windows will do, and it's actually going to be Pencil from this off angle on the rappel. Don't see that one too often. Is going to be able to decide though, because Pencil left that spot, didn't have the crossfire up. So 1 minute left to play. I see Red down one man, but they do have some breaches open. The diffuser though is not in hand. They still have to rotate and pick it up, and Cam is in an interesting spot right now. We'll see if they're able to get a kill. I don't think there's anyone downstairs, so wasting a little bit of time as we cross the 45-second threshold.
Honestly, I can understand why they're focusing a little bit more on trying to get the kills, because they know they have the guns to do it. Chubsy goes down. You've got 30 seconds left. You do not need to push this at all. If I'm Lindenwood, I am sitting put. I'm staying where I am. Pencil gets a double, but it's 2-2 with 20 seconds left. Pencil with a triple. The team on his back, and he's gonna get it. ISU Red 2-0. Well, 2-0 go down, 0-2, no more, off the back of LaPencil James. 7-1 on Lindenwood's map pick. Wow. You didn't need to push him, Lindenwood. Oh my lord. He had 15 seconds left. He had 16 kills. Good night alive. Wow. Absolutely unbelievable.
Legacy game, incredible game, whatever you want to call it. Nothing but dominance there from Pencil. Incredible job in game number 2. The 7-1 victory, too, blows my mind with kind of how close that first one was. It snowballed so quickly after they got that one round. The next one, I mean, just the flank happens, everything goes downhill for Lindenwood. ISU Red, we said it at the start, the stats don't always tell the story. They get a near head, winless no more.
Winless no more in the best fashion possible. And at specific request of me, obviously we do these interviews here at the end, and I don't necessarily know if we have to throw to a break. I think we probably will. But considering the fact that ISU Red just won this insane match against Lindenwood, obviously Lair was a little bit more competitive, but they really turned it on Lindenwood's map of Clubhouse, of course. We will be hearing from ISU Red's very own Pencil James himself here in just a minute with this interview. And I'm honestly really excited to get to pick his brain on how he kind of approached going into this 2-0 versus 0-2. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here live with, of course, like I said in the prior before we got into this interview. It is me, Ace of Toronto, Kingfisher, and in between us is Pencil, the man who just dropped 16 on Lindenwood's head on their map. Pencil, how are you feeling after that performance, in all honesty?
Pretty good. I did it both maps though. I mean,
It's true.
yeah. It is what it is.
I mean, hey, you're honest to God, you're just him. Fisher, I'm gonna let you take it away. Ask him a few yes and nos, and we'll throw it back to me.
Okay, well, I didn't think of any yes or no, so I'm just gonna ask him normal questions.
Okay.
That'll
But
work.
I mean, I gotta know, right? Map 1 going to Map 2. Map 1 was your guys' map pick. It was
Yeah.
incredibly well fought, 7-5 victory down to the wire, and then, for lack of better words, you just steamroll the guys on map number
Yeah.
2. What's that change what's that change like? Is it just momentum? Is it something you were prepped for? Kind of what goes into making that turnaround from 2 maps?
Map 1, I mean, we started off hot, those 3-round wins. That was just good siege. But once we lost those, what was it, like 4 rounds in a row?
Mm-hmm.
We were all getting pretty hot. I just wanted to get back in it. I was a little annoyed. Tech pause killed our momentum. It's whatever. I think that's honestly what did it for us because we had the same momentum we had map 2. Map 1 is just we lost it with that tech pause. I mean, we go into this knowing we're the better team. We have the better players. And it's just, when you lose momentum like that, it's an awkward feeling. Map 2, they can't stop the momentum. Once we're rolling. Unstoppable.
Yeah, question I have, right? This is relevant to map number 2. I think it was round 4 when you got that crazy triple kill flank. Kind of what went into that, because you guys did it round number 1, the exact same thing. It worked out. It looked like they weren't ready for it at all in round 4. You turn that around to a round 5 jump out post play. What do you think goes on there? Is that kind of debilitating to the other team's mentals? Does it fire you guys up? How does that kind of affect the mental state?
First walk down I walked over, shot the grids with like 30 seconds left. I figured they wouldn't walk at me. And then I just played the time the walk down with their execute, got to, what was that, in kitchen. And then the second one, I went super early. I caught Twitch off guard on main and then just was super patient with it. I didn't swing the stairs at all. I let the fights come to me. I let things get awkward. Thatcher thought I left and just wasn't looking when I killed them. And then it's a free round. I mean, there's nothing you can do with that. And the clutch on master, I mean, I'm always confident, especially, on a map like this that I like, in a 1v4, who cares? It's Lindenwood. I'm him. It was fine. I don't know. I was just, you gotta stay confident, make confident plays.
Well, yeah, definitely love hearing the confidence. I'll pass it over to Ace, who I'm sure has a few questions of his own as well.
Yeah, I mean, with the I'm him type of performance that you just gave off, I mean, you literally were the piece that they needed to try to find a way to stop, and they just couldn't. And I actually have a question about map 1 about Lair. Now, you were talking about how your momentum kind of got delayed, however you want to phrase it, due to the tech pause. Before the tech pause, though, you guys were up 3-0 on the attack. What was it like, especially during the tech pause, whenever you knew the way that they were defending and the way they were trying to defend? What was it like going into those first 3 attacks, knowing that they were just going to carbon copy themselves at all 3 rounds?
Yeah, I honestly think, and this was a little bit of I think hubris is the word. Like, we won those first 3 rounds, and I was just like, okay, we're just like the better team by a mile. Like, we don't even need to think that hard. And then, you know what? A little too confident. Lost a few rounds in a row. Brought it back. No biggie. No biggie.
I mean, hey, you guys really showed up and showed out, going from 0-2 to now 1-2 and knocking Lindenwood off of their win streak that they had going into this. And now I wanted to kind of broaden the spectrum here for my last question before we let you go tonight, Pencil. So you guys lost the first 2 games, and then you come in, obviously a little bit more of an underdog, so to speak, in our eyes and in the public eyes, against Lindenwood, who are on this big streak. They were 2-0, et cetera, et cetera. What is next, and how do you continue to build off this momentum as a team as ISU Red, beating what was seemingly an unbeatable Lindenwood team?
I mean, calling Lindenwood unbeatable is something. But I honestly think if you look at our first 2 games we lost, map 3 of our first series we lost because our second best player had to leave. And then our second game, we just didn't have our only real guy that plays support. So we're kind of in a bad spot for both those games. And I thought we competed, but we did eat a little bit of dirt both those games. But we should be 3-0. Some bad circumstances, my opinion.
So really quickly, how do you look for how is this going to impact how you look forward to next week?
I mean, I'm gonna take the next week off like I did last week, not play, and then show up for game day and do what I do.
Hey, I mean, you're him. When you're him, you can do stuff like that when you're him.
Yeah.
Pencil, it was great having you on for this post game interview. Dropped 16
Thank
kills in that last map on Lindenwood's map. Made our night worth it. Me and Fisher back in the saddle again here for Midwest, and it was certainly a banger. It was 7-5 map 1 layer for ISU, and then of course they win map 2 7-1 as well. Pencil, thank you so much for giving us a little bit of your time here at the end of the stream. And when it comes down to me and Fisher here, along with our great set of production and everyone else involved, we want to thank you for watching Midwest R6 this week, and we will see you here next Thursday night.
Wow. You guys are great. You guys are great. You guys.